So functions in Python are the building blocks. Consider you create a project that contain a lot of different things. So what you do, you will be writing those set of statements and they will group it under a single name. So for example, an air conditioner. Now air conditioner, it had multiple features: lowering of the temperature, hiring or hiring, increasing the temperature, shutdown, starting. So these are different things which are inbuilt, which is there. Only thing you need to do is invoke. So those are the functions of an air conditioner. Same way, when you write your own code, you might need certain set of statements to be repeated again and again. So you are not going to write it again in a sequence, rather you put it in a block, give it a name, and then whenever required you keep on calling. So functions are basically like code on demand. So they are set of statements grouped together under a single name and has to be invoked for execution. Until unless you do not invoke, it's not going to execute. So if you have a function but you do not call it, it's not going to execute. So how does a function looks like in Python? You start with the keyword def, then you write the name of the function. Parameters are of nature optional, and then you have got statements, and then the last line should be written if required. It's not like in the statement, in the syntax, you do not specify whether the function will return or not. The last line determines whether this function is going to return something or not. Let's write a simple function. Let's call it as def. That is the keyword we you need to start. Then I say greet, and I start with a pair of curly braces. Then we have the indentation, and let me say print, hi there, welcome to Python functions. Okay, now if I, as I said, if I try to execute this, what will happen? Let me say Python and functions. See, no response. As I said, this is the definition of a function, and it will not be executed until unless I invoke. How do I invoke? Name of the function followed by the brackets. And now let's see. So just for fun of it, let me add up a line here. This is where the function is, and this is where I am invoking it. Now I make the call, and you can see, hi there, welcome to Python functions. This is how you write a very simple functions here. First function you have written is a very simple function. Then let's say I want to add two numbers. So I'll say for definition add two numbers, and I'm expecting you to pass me those numbers. So I'll say number one, or let me just take it as one and two, the numbers you pass me, and I will add those numbers up. So I'll say print one plus two equals 1 plus 2. That way you pass on the functions again. You know the drill. If you want to execute this, you'll have to call. So now I can say add two numbers, let's say 1 comma 3. Okay, so you can see it is creating 1 plus 3 is 4. Now as you know, functions are basically what, I can just change the numbers. So let's say I can reuse this, right? It's a code on demand. So let's say 20 plus 10, and then I want to check what is 10 plus 4, and I want to check what is 0 plus 0. Okay, I can pass on any numbers, and now let's see the output. See, so 20 plus 10 is 30, and so on. So the idea is I wrote a single function, I'm invoking it multiple time. This is more like code on demand, as we were discussing. Now functions are of two types, right? We have discussed earlier that function can have or cannot have return type. So functions can or cannot return. So basically it goes like do process and do some process, that's it. And second is return something. Always prefer for returning something. I'll tell you the reason why. We have a greet function, right? How did we work on that greet function? We say welcome to Python functions. Now what if this message you wanted to send it somewhere? So I can write another function. I'll show you how it works. So I'll say get greetings. Okay, and for a specific name, and then I say return hi plus name plus space welcome to code with Z. Okay, now what will happen here is I can write a variable and say get greetings for, let's say, for my own name. So get greetings for Zarta. This way, you know what is happening? I have got this message. Okay, let us print it first. Now the idea is I am no longer inside a function. It is returned me something. It has returned me something. Okay. So hi Zarta, welcome to Code with Z. Now what I want to do is there are multiple things I can do with this. Send this in an email. Okay. Save to DB. Store it in a file. Send over network. Anything you can do. Feed this to a AI model. Yeah. How user respond to different type of greetings. So see, there are benefits upon how you can work on that. Next, we have the concept called as keyword arguments. So consider I have got to do a factorial and then increment after the factorial. So I have a simple function. It's like I'll give you a number. You have to take the number first, find the factorial, and then increment that number by the given number of factorial. So how will I do that? Let's say definition. And I want to show you what are keyword arguments are, how it can help you to clarify the function. So let's say increment after factorial. So you have a number and then you increment, or let's say you increment by. So I say by here. What do you do next is I will simply just say factorial is, and for this reason I need to import math now. We have seen how do we import this. So import math. I'll say what is the factorial of my number. So I'll say math dot factorial and I will pass on the number. And then what I do is add to factorial number is my factorial plus the by value, whatever you want to increment this by. And then I return this add to factorial function. So now if I make the call and if I say, if I make the call and if I say, let's say result is equal to increment after factorial, let's say I'll take factorial of 4. So 4 multiplied by 3 is 12, 12 multiplied by 2 is 24. So 4 is 24 and then I want to add 5 to it. So I'm expecting 29 here. Let's say print of result. This time, yeah, let's see. Yeah, I got 29. Simple. But what if I can tell you that when you make this call, you have an option of saying, okay, result is increment after factorial, that my number is equal to, let's say 5, and then I'm going to increment this by 7. And then I print result again. Let's see what happens this time. It's giving me 127, so that is perfect. Why? 5 factorial is 125, I guess. And then we add 7 to that. So 120 plus 7 is 127. And see, when we make the call, this makes it reading much more easier. Next is we have a default argument. So let's say default increment, and then I say increment the number, and see by. Same thing I'm doing. This time I'm not doing the factorial. I will say by is equal to 1. So you know what will happen now? I don't have to, I have already given the default value. So I will simply just say return number plus by. So this will give me the output. And now I will say increment value. So what is my result going to be? So result is increment of 6. Okay. And then I print result. See, it's giving me 7 because it is by default incrementing it by 3. But what if I want to change this to result is increment of 6, and number is 6 increment by 3. This time I'm expecting 9 now. So let's say result, and as expected we got 9 here. So default arguments allow you to change the way it is implement. Like you can give a default value, and then if you want to override that, you can just pass on the value, plus you can do the same thing again, like number is equal to 6 and by is equal to make it much more readable. So Python is all game of making it much more readable. This is basics about functions in Python. Thank you for watching this video. Please go and hit that subscribe button, and also the bell icon, so you will be notified every time the new video is out. And let's see you all in the next video.